All right, so I'd like to start by making a motion to appoint Kathy as our temporary chair for the evening.
Kevin second.
All in favor, I guess, until she's Zygmunt, aye.
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 Kathy,
all
it's a
you,
pretty
Kathy.
light agenda.
Yes. I'm glad it is a light agenda. So, all right, I am, the motion carries, and I am the person for the night. All right. Do I need to read the procedures for remote participation?
Oh, unfortunately, you do. You can summarize them if you.
So, procedures for remote participation. This meeting will be conducted remotely over Zoom. This meeting may be broadcast live and recorded on ECAT. To use Zoom, you'll need to use the link on the agenda and download the Zoom application and create an account or use one of the call-in numbers listed on the agenda. And while conducting remote meetings, we'll endeavor to keep meeting operations as close to standard procedures as possible. However, use of the remote platform will necessitate some additional meeting protocols. And while board members and commissioners and applicants will be on the video and audio invited to speak by the chair, public participants joining by Zoom will be muted and with no video feed from them. Public lines will be muted throughout the meeting to allow the board to conduct business and to eliminate background noise. For general meetings, not hearings, and only for the items under which the chair solicits public comment, members of the public participating in the Zoom meeting may submit a written question via text chat, provided they include their full name and address for the public record. Members of the public viewing the meeting on ECAT may submit questions in writing via email. The chair reserves the right to respond to questions during the live meeting, but may limit the time for such activities. Any questions not addressed in the meeting may be answered afterwards via email and will be incorporated into the minutes of the meeting for the public record. All votes will be by roll call. For public hearings, during the public testimony portion of the meeting, members of the public joining via Zoom may be recognized by using the raise hand function found under participants from Zoom, or make a request with the Q&A function. If you're joining only by phone, you can press *9 to raise your hand. When starting testimony, please state your name and address for the record. The chair reserves the right to designate a specific point of the hearing at which testimony may be offered, the duration of the comment period afforded to each individual and/or entity, and the number of individuals and entities permitted to speak. As in any public hearing, testimony offered must be related to the hearing being held, and off-topic commentary or indecent behavior will not be tolerated. The chair reserves the right to end the testimony of anyone who abuses the use of the meeting platform and to remove them from the hearing. When all business indicated on the agenda has been completed, the members will vote to adjourn the meeting, signaling the end of the meeting and the termination of the ECAT recording. All participants will be disconnected from the meeting at that time. All right, well, thank you everyone for joining us. We have a continued public hearing for the 95 Union Street. Do I have a motion to continue this to June 9th?
Motion to continue to June 9th, the Union Street agenda item.
Kevin second.
Any further discussion? All right, we will vote on the motion. Zygmunt?
Aye.
Weeks?
Aye.
Kedem?
Aye.
And Kidd is an aye as well. All right, next agenda item is the Open Space and Recreation Plan request for letter of support.
So we sent out a draft letter of support and the link to the Open Space and Recreation Plan. People have been solicited for input on the update. It is a 10-year plan. Previously, it was a 7-year plan, but actually updating it takes quite a bit of effort and energy on the parts of each of the towns, and a lot of the information, the basic information, doesn't change over the years. What's really critical is how the town's doing towards its goals towards recreation, but also what the town feels it needs or still needs as far as open space and recreation. So open space is primarily protection of open space land for wildlife preservation, habitat protection, watershed protection, but also passive recreation. And your recreation are the facilities and primarily outdoor that meet the needs of the residents of the town in total. So of all age groups, all different interests. Did people have a chance to kind of look through it?
Yeah, I read it. It's it is aligned to what this board has been promoting for so many years. So nothing new here. I don't know the details why this letter is needed. Can you explain a little?
So the Department of Conservation and Recreation requires that you provide letters of support, or asks for letters of support in support of the plan. It helps them, it helps the state, and that's the State Department of Conservation and Recreation. So it helps reinforce that the town was part of the process, and it wasn't just a few people in a room creating the plan off on their own.
Did we get the letter of support? I did not see it. I saw the plan, the draft link to the plan, but I didn't see our.
It was in your packet. In fact, I just pulled it up from the email that I sent it. Did I send it in a separate email? Let me look. No, I sent it in the first email that I sent regarding the materials for the meeting.
Okay, I thought that was the draft plan, and then I clicked on the link to the draft plan. Oh, I see. OSRP. Okay, I got it.
It's signed by Bob on the bottom.
Yep, I see it. Now, it's not to Jennifer, it's to Ms. Cryan.
It's to Melissa Cryan. She is the person that manages the open space and recreation plan update process. She is all.
Sorry, go ahead, finish your thought.
Oh, no, I was just going to say she also is the grants program supervisor for the grants that are offered through the Division of Conservation Services. So for example, actually late last year, we were notified that our grant application for funding for Swift's Park was approved, and that was through the park grant program.
Yeah, no, I see the letter now. Thank you. I thought the open space plan was interesting, though. I think I spent probably more time looking at the survey results, thinking that that's probably, more actionable in terms of what the town wants. I mean, I trust that our Conservation Commission folks are going to take care of, protected species and, wetlands and things like that. But it was kind of interesting to see what the public opinion was on, what the town really wanted. I mean, I resoundingly saw responses. It was like, dog park, biking trails, walking trails, sidewalks. It was like one after another. It was just boom, boom. Now, is any of that actionable? I mean, will budget for sidewalks get increased as a result of this? Or?
Oh, sidewalks definitely. In fact, the town is a complete streets town. It adopted a complete streets policy back in 2017, and that allows the town to be eligible for certain funding through the Mass DOT. It's not a lot. It's $400,000, but it has helped pay for sidewalks along Bay Road, and it helps fund development of a prioritization plan where you identify where you want to see I'm going to say transportation improvements that include all users of your roadways. I was going to say something else in response to your question. Oh, and the town is really committed to adding roadways. I mean, you see what was done with Depot Street, where you have the bicycle lane and you also have the sidewalks. And the design for the Boundary Street improvements will include sidewalks and a multi-use path, which would accommodate walkers, cyclists, and baby strollers, those type of things.
Yeah, that's a critical need. That stretch right there is very dangerous. A lot of people try to walk it. It's,
Yeah, right.
Um,
And certainly accessibility too.
I have a question that you probably don't have an answer to it, but what is behind all this? Besides what you said, that they want to show that there is support from the other boards in town. There is popular support, but there might be also people that do not, because of the financial situation of the town, that is somehow in conflict with open space, because open space can be a source of money too, by not executing those projects, or by basically selling some of the open space land that the town or some other people own for development. So is there any background discussion about that?
So I just want to make this clear because it's a really important point. If you have land that is dedicated to recreation and conservation purposes, you cannot sell that. And in fact, to convert it out of that open space protection, you have to have in Easton, because of the town structure, first the Conservation Commission has to agree to it. Secondly, my understanding is town meeting has to vote for it, and then it has to go to the state legislature, and you would have to replace it with similar land of the same quantity of land, with similar qualities to the land that you would be taking out. So I know with the budget prices, some are challenges. Some people might think, oh, well, we could sell some of our open space, but you really couldn't do that. But as you bring up a good point, that when you protect a lot of open space, which is what Easton has done over the many years, really valued that. And part of that land is preserved because it's part of the watershed and it helps protect the water supply. But it also provides wildlife habitat, it provides recreation opportunities. But it is land that then is no longer available for development.
Well, all what you explained is clear, and I knew it. My question was more, there are politics behind the reason for this letter? That was my question, and you probably don't know that, or maybe you know.
Not locally, because
Yeah.
it's something that the DCR wants to see, the Department of Conservation and Recreation.
Okay,
And
so
just to kind of,
in my
just to-
opinion, I will support this letter loudly for going forward.
yeah, I'm happy to provide a letter of support as well. Stephanie, just to make sure, I plan on commenting as a resident. That's still separate from going for this letter, right? I could still do that.
Yes,
Yeah, okay.
absolutely. Yep.
Yeah.
Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Oh, okay. My camera, for some reason, just stopped working. I don't know why. I can't turn it back on. It says Zoom cannot detect my camera. So
Sometimes that happens with my webcam.
yeah, I have no idea. It's an integrated cam to a laptop. I've never had a problem with it. But all right, well, as long as you can hear me, I think we're good. I won't bother restarting.
So is the idea that we need to each have a letter, or is this a collective letter from the board?
The idea was a letter from the board,
Okay.
and
We
the
need a
board
motion?
needs to vote on it.
Do we need a motion?
Yes.
Okay, motion to support the letter to as presented. Kevin.
Zygmunt, second.
All right, any further discussion? All right, seeing none, we'll have a vote on the motion. Zygmunt,
Aye.
Weeks,
Aye.
Kadam,
Aye.
and Kidd is an aye. Um, just one side note on the letter, is there going to be some proofreading done on it? Because I caught a couple grammar mistakes
Please,
already.
if you see some, please send it to me. I am finding more and more that I leave out prepositions and,
Use
I-
editor. You
editor,
know, editor.
tell me about it.
Uh, words have a function called editor, and
I will look for that. Thank you for the tip. And
Yeah,
I find it's not just me. I find people in emails, you'll see like prepositions missing all the time, but I am certainly susceptible.
yes, we all are.
you can also use AI.
Mm-hmm.
That is true. Or we can use our brain power, I guess, instead of,
That's
lighting
too,
a bunch of
that's too
fossil fuel on
difficult.
fire.
Go easy on us.
Um, okay, so moving on to board business. The meeting minutes from April 28th. Is there any comments, corrections on those?
Looks good to me.
Yeah, they look fine.
Fine to me.
All right, do I have a motion to accept the minutes?
Zygmunt, so moved.
Second?
All right, any further discussion? All
Okay,
right,
this is
well,
gonna sounds really sad. Did the board vote for the continuance for 95 Union Street?
yes, we did.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah, we did that.
that went by so fast.
It did.
Right out of the gate.
I knew Suzanne would be speaking up if you hadn't.
If we had skipped that.
Right.
Okay, so let's go ahead and do vote on the motion for accepting the minutes. Zygmunt,
Aye.
Weeks,
Aye.
Kedem,
Aye.
and Kidd is an aye as well. And last we have is other business. And since I am the chair tonight, I have no updates. Other than don't do this to me again. And all right, Stephanie, any updates from you?
So quickly, I know I've been talking about the permitting audit. I think at the last meeting I mentioned that I had received a draft report from the consultant. And he and I went through that. He's supposed to be getting another draft back to me, which I would like to forward to the various boards that we talked to and interviewed. Have you folks kind of get back and provide comments. And the plan is to have that complete along with some tools like checklists and things suggestions on what we can do to help improve the process by the end of June. And then I just wanted to remind everybody that the PACE meetings talking about the budget challenges are now over. They had their last open house last week, but they have a whole website for anybody, not just the board, but members of the public who are interested in learning more about the budget challenge and the override that's being proposed. Please go to the website, and then just remember town meeting is on May 19th.
If you want, you can come this Wednesday to the Lions meeting, and I can talk to you about membership if you want. Come over. The people from PACE are coming to the meeting, to the Lions meeting, to explain.
So thank you for adding that too, Amos.
I think they still are going and taking the message to different entities in town.
Yes, yes, and I think if they have a schedule, they'll have that on the website too.
Yeah.
I wasn't sure if I know they've done some like coffee hours and little more one-on-one sessions as well, but I didn't know if they were done with those, so thank you.
Yeah, we are 150 members, so.
And that's all I have.
Okay. Yeah, you promised a short meeting. And so, do I have a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn, Kevin.
Second, Sigmund.
All right, any further discussion? All right, let's have a vote. Zygmunt,
Aye.
Weeks,
Aye.
Kedem,
Aye.
and Kid is an aye as well. So, thank
Good-
you.
Good
night.
night and good luck.
All right, take care.
Thank you. Good night, everybody.
Bye bye.
Go
Thank
Celtics.
you.